This is a clip from the Red Cow Arcade podcast.
I got the expansion pack, the Nintendo Online expansion pack.
Oh, you did, yeah.
It's an extra $30 a year. I'll feel a little bit pissed off every time it hits every year where I'm like, oh, $50, and then I'll forget about it forever, and I'll keep my N64 and my Genesis stuff. Now, there's a lot of controversy around bad emulation for N64. Everybody knows, anybody who's ever been emulating games for a long time knows that, like, you can't emulate N64 with the same ease as you can the 16 and 8-bit stuff, obviously. And for that matter, it seems like as long as you have the CPU, you can emulate, like, Dreamcast and PS2 and GameCube relatively easily as well. There's something about N64 that's difficult to copy, I guess.
On Sega Saturn, too.
Sega Saturn as well. So when I heard about the N64 thing, I was like, oh, that's cool, because Nintendo wouldn't release imperfect versions of these games. Or if they did, it would be very, very minor or whatever. And so I always thought, like, the fan community, even if they're very dedicated, I guess they've never cracked it. But I'm sure Nintendo will only release the games that they, because like Mario 64 has been perfect for a long time in the fan community. And I think they got Ocarina of Time pretty much down. They got Star Fox pretty much down. So I was like, that's what they'll do. They'll release only games that they know that they can stand behind. And like within a day or two, the internet was just like, they got rid of the fog in Mario Kart. There's like this like, water temple shadow level in Ocarina of Time that looks like garbage.
Yeah, they got rid of the reflections in the Shadow Link battle. Yeah.
And I don't want to be dramatic about it, because I actually played Ocarina of Time on the Wii U, the Virtual Console, and I didn't notice any of that stuff, because you have to remember what it used to look like to care. And I think that water temple I probably would have noticed, but the fog in Mario Kart, I'm not sure that would have occurred to me. So, it's, if you're a newcomer to the game, certainly I don't think it's going to bother you. And even if you played in 5th grade and now you're playing again for the first time, but it just was a little surprising that they just were like, here you go.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna add $30 to your yearly subscription. I would think they're gonna fix it, like, but who knows? Nintendo is like a monkey's paw sometimes, like you'll get your wish, but then there'll be a cost to it.
Yeah, like if you want it fixed, that's another 30. But then, the Genesis thing was never really all that appealing to me, because I've got way too many ways to play Genesis between the arcade and the handheld and everything else I have. But there's this stupid side of me, EJ, that keeps thinking like, well, if it's officially released, then there's going to be something about it that I'm going to really appreciate. And there never is. It's just fucking Castlevania Bloodlines on the Switch. And I guess I bought your Switch Lite after all. We talked about it on the podcast, and it got done. When I get a hold of that thing, I think with the D-pad and all, the Switch as a form factor for portable games will be kind of pleasant. But I don't know, man. My RG351P solves a lot of problems already. I'm not sure I need these additional services.
RG280V has been great for all those things. Like Genesis games look awesome on it. They look great. Perfect.
And you get your GBA, and when I hear people online being like, when's Nintendo going to release some Game Boy games? I'm like, what are you going to wait?
Those things are so easy to emulate. I used to be totally against emulation, but now I'm like, whatever, let it rain.
I have to admit, and I'm not a Luddite either, but this thing about like input lag with emulation, which is probably the biggest strike against it with most people, outside of like a philosophical purity thing. The tangible critique would be this input lag thing. I've never felt it. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I felt it. I've actually felt it in. It was either the Wii or the Wii U. There was a couple games that had really bad input lag.
Yeah,
but other than that, I haven't experienced it. Unless it was like a third. There's like some like really like cheap stuff that you could get at like. They used to have like kiosks in the mall when we would go to malls, and there'd have these like really sketchy third-party things that had Nintendo games, and those always had bad input lag.
I have felt input lag before with like Bluetooth controllers and stuff, and it makes the game unplayable. But like especially something with like Twitch controls, like or where you need like Twitch reflexes, like Mario platformers, that kind of thing. I've never felt it with emulation. That, or I've been playing emulation for so long that my brain has adjusted to it. It's been a long time. Well, I played my original Genesis not too long ago. I was playing Sonic, and I just felt like I was playing an emulated game, frankly.
I think people get used to input lag a lot, so
yeah,
it's I
used to play on my keyboard on the bus and stuff. I used to play Sonic on my keyboard, and people are like, "How can you do that?" And I was like, "Well, it's a directional pad, and there's 2 buttons."
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.